Let me tell you something most people will never say out loud. You are not broken. You're not missing parts. You don't need to be fixed like some machine in a repair shop, but the world convinced you otherwise. They told you to be better, faster, more productive. They fed you self-help slogans, sold you the idea that you were always one step away from being enough. So you bought the books, tried the hacks, followed the plans, and still felt like you were running in place. How many times have you felt behind in life, like everyone else figured it out while you were still trying to keep your head above water? Like no matter what you do, it's not measuring up. That voice in your head didn't come from nowhere. It was built over time, brick by brick, comparison by comparison. You've been chasing perfection and losing yourself in the process. But this is where that ends. Because this isn't about giving up, it's about waking up. Waking up to the truth that you were never supposed to become someone else. You were supposed to come home to yourself. This message, this movement isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about seeing what's already working. Your strength, your story, your scars. This is where we strip away the lies and rebuild something real. Not perfect, but real. And that starts with one powerful truth. Perfection isn't a goal, it's a trap. A shiny, polished lie, sold to you by fear. It whispers, once you're perfect, then you'll be happy, then you'll be loved, then you'll finally be safe. But it's never true. Perfection isn't real. It's a moving target, created to keep you insecure, always fixing, always doubting, always reaching for something just out of reach. You weren't born with the idea that you're not enough. That was taught to you, fed to you through screens, expectations, and impossible standards. And now, you walk around with this weight, trying to measure up to a version of yourself that doesn't even exist. That's not growth, that's fear in disguise. Fear of being seen, fear of being real. Let me be clear, perfection is not the goal. Being whole, honest, and human is. Because the pursuit of perfection doesn't lead to greatness, it leads to burnout, emptiness, and a life built on pretending. Stop chasing it. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be real. Perfection is like the horizon. It looks close, just one more step, just one more win, just one more fix. But every time you think you're there, it moves. Every time you upgrade your life, your goals shift. You achieve one thing, and suddenly, it's not enough anymore. That's how the lie works. It promises peace, but only after the next level. Only after you lose the weight, get the job, build the brand, get the attention. And still, you're left wondering why it never feels like you've made it. That's because perfection isn't a destination, it's a distraction. You're so focused on who you're not yet, that you miss who you already are. So you keep chasing, hoping the next step will finally make you feel full. But here's the truth. If you keep tying your worth to the next thing, you'll never rest, you'll never arrive. You'll just keep running toward a finish line that doesn't exist. It's time to stop chasing the horizon. Start standing where your feet are. Let me say what no one else will. Those perfect people you see, they're not perfect, they're performing. You see the highlight reel, the polished feed, the filtered life, and you compare it to your behind the scenes. But you don't see the doubt behind their eyes, the cracks they cover, the nights they don't sleep. Perfection online is a carefully built image, not a real life. And the more you buy into it, the more you feel like something's wrong with you. But nothing's wrong with you. Something's wrong with the picture you're comparing yourself to. Everyone's fighting something. Everyone's hurting somewhere. But no one posts their breakdowns. No one goes viral for being average, for struggling, for surviving. And yet, that's what real life is. Messy, complicated, brave. So the next time you start to feel small in someone else's spotlight, remind yourself, you're only seeing their stage, not their backstage. Don't aim to look perfect, aim to be real. That's where true power lives. You ever stop to ask yourself what all this pressure is really costing you? All this striving, comparing, second-guessing, what has it stolen from your life? How many moments have you missed because you were too busy trying to look put together? How many dreams have you delayed because you thought you weren't ready yet? How many memories were never made because you were too focused on flaws? Perfection sounds harmless. Just do your best, right? but it creeps in and convinces you that your best is never enough. And while you're trying to be everything, life keeps moving, opportunities pass, people drift, and your peace. That's the first thing to go. Let me be honest, this isn't just exhausting. It's dangerous. It drains your spirit. It dulls your joy. And worst of all, it convinces you to wait, to hold back your full self until you've earned it. But you don't earn wholeness. You decide to live it. And every second you chase perfection, you're missing the beauty of what already is. Let's stop pretending that perfection is the prize. It's not. What matters is progress, moving forward, even if you're limping. What matters is growth, the kind that comes from falling, getting back up, and learning as you go. What matters is grit, not faking strength, but building it through the struggle. This is the truth. No one puts on billboards. Real life is messy, and that's what makes it meaningful. Every step you take, even the small ones, even the ones in silence, they matter. Because growth isn't about looking flawless. It's about getting stronger where you used to break. So if you feel like you're stumbling, if your path looks nothing like you thought it would, that's okay. You're not failing, you're becoming. And becoming is hard, but it's honest, and it's real. You don't need to be polished to be powerful. You need to keep going. So walk with your flaw, grow with your wounds, and never forget, progress beats perfection every single time. You keep waiting for the timing to be right, for the fear to go away, for clarity to magically appear. But here's the truth. Ready is a myth. It's the story perfectionism tells you to keep you still. Every day you wait is a day you lose, to self-doubt, to hesitation, to the illusion that one day you'll wake up fearless. You won't. No one ever feels fully prepared. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward with fear in your pocket. Action creates clarity. Motion creates momentum. You won't think your way into readiness. You act your way into it. So stop waiting for permission, perfection, or peace of mind. Start now. Messy, scared, uncertain. Because someday is just another name for never, and life doesn't wait. You've spent so long preparing, tweaking, adjusting, tuning every string, but the music? Still unplayed. You're so afraid of hitting the wrong note that you never hit any at all. But the audience isn't waiting for perfection, they're waiting for you. Your voice, your rhythm, your messy, real melody. While you fine-tune, someone else is performing. Off-key, off-beat, but brave. They're showing up while you're still hiding. Life is not a rehearsal. It's the main stage. No one remembers the notes you never played. They remember the courage it took to play anyway. So sing, out of tune, unpolished, unapologetically alive. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be present. It's your song, your moment. Start playing, even if your hands shake, because silence was never your purpose. You think waiting keeps you safe. That staying quiet, staying small, protects you from failure. But every moment you hold back, you pay a price in lost time, lost chances, lost confidence. You don't grow by standing still. You grow by stretching, stumbling, trying again. The pursuit of perfection doesn't shield you. It shrinks you. It robs you of momentum, of self-belief, of progress. You'll look back one day and realize the real mistake wasn't failing. It was never trying. Every risk avoided becomes a regret stored. And that weight, it adds up. So what if you fall? So what if you're not perfect? You'll be further. You'll be stronger. Holding back costs more than messing up. Let go. Lean in. Because nothing is more expensive than a life unlived. Think back to a year ago. What if you had started then? Not perfectly, just started. Where would you be today? What would you know now, feel now, have achieved by now? But you waited, you doubted, you paused for the right time. And now, you're still stuck in the same spot with the same dream. That stings, doesn't it? Let it. Because sometimes pain is the only thing loud enough to wake you up. You didn't lack talent. You lacked momentum. You weren't too weak. You just kept hesitating. But here's the good news. Today is still day one. if you choose it. Start now, even if it's late. Progress beats perfection every time. Because in another year, you'll ask yourself again, where could I be now? Make sure next time the answer makes you proud. Perfection looks good, but it doesn't move you. It's a cage dressed as a crown, shiny but paralyzing. You obsess, polish, hesitate, and nothing gets finished. But done is power. Done is momentum. Done is the bridge between dreaming and doing. Your work doesn't need to be flawless. It needs to be real. Messy progress beats polished procrastination. Every single time. The world doesn't need your perfect version. It needs the brave one. The one who shows up anyway. The one who says, it's not perfect, but it's out there. That's how change happens, in motion, not in theory. So press send, publish, speak, move, because perfect might impress, but done transforms. And nothing extraordinary ever happened because someone waited until it was flawless. We've been taught that good enough is the enemy, that it's a cop-out, a shortcut, a sign of weakness. But that's a lie built on the back of insecurity. Good enough doesn't mean you've stopped trying. It means you finally started trusting yourself. It means you understand that perfection isn't proof of worth, and flawlessness isn't a requirement for love, success, or self-respect. When you say this is enough, what you're really saying is, I am enough, and that changes everything. It frees you. It silences the voice that says you have to do more, be more, prove more. Your value isn't earned by exhaustion. It isn't measured by how much you suffer or sacrifice. You are not a product. You are a person. And good enough isn't the end of the road. It's the point where you finally start living from wholeness instead of chasing worth. So stop apologizing. Stop second guessing. Enough isn't failure. Enough is freedom. There are seasons when waking up, showing up, and simply breathing is a victory. In those moments, good enough is not laziness, it's courage. It's what keeps you moving when everything inside you wants to shut down. You don't need to be thriving to be worthy. You don't need to smile through pain or pretend to be okay. Raw is real, and sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is keep going at half strength, without sparkle, without certainty. Survival is not failure, it's resilience in its most honest form. So if you're holding it together with tape and willpower, know this, that is strength, that is success. You don't owe the world a polished version of your pain. You only owe yourself the right to keep breathing, keep trying, and keep moving. When life is heavy, good enough is a powerful stand for self-compassion. It's not a lack of ambition, it's proof that you're still here. And that's everything. Imagine a painter who never touches the canvas until every brushstroke is planned to perfection. There would be no art, no mess, no movement, no life. That's what we do when we wait to be polished before showing. We forget that power comes from starting, not perfecting. Your influence doesn't come from flawless execution. It comes from honest expression, from daring to act before you're ready, from letting the raw, unfinished parts of yourself be seen. The world doesn't need another polished man. It needs truth. It needs your real voice, even if it shakes. Power is built through repetition, through failure, through bold, imperfect steps forward. The mess is not a sign you're broken. It's a sign you're building. And every powerful person you admire, they began the same way, unsure, unrefined, unfinished. So start where you are. Speak, create, move, even if it's clumsy. Because polished can wait, but purpose begins the moment you stop waiting. Every towering tree began with something small, an unseen seed, buried in darkness, quietly doing the work. That's what good enough really is. Not a ceiling, but a beginning. The fertile ground where greatness grows. You don't build something extraordinary by aiming for perfection from day one. You build it by showing up, again and again, with what you have. By planting effort where doubt once lived. By choosing action over analysis, and courage over delay. Good enough doesn't mean you're settling. It means you're starting. It's the declaration that progress matters more than polish. And that done is the first step toward better. We wait for the moment we feel ready, not realizing that readiness is born through repetition. You get better by doing, not by dreaming. So plant the seed, trust the process, water your effort with belief, and watch how far enough can grow when you stop dismissing it and start nurturing it instead. You're spending so much time editing your life, polishing your words, curating your moments, filtering your truth, that you're missing the real thing entirely. You're living like a rough draft, isn't worthy of being read. But this isn't a rehearsal, this is it. And if you keep waiting until everything feels perfect, you'll blink and realize you've spent more time revising than experiencing. Stop trimming your edges to fit into someone else's frame. Stop rewriting yourself to be more palatable, more productive, more impressive. Life isn't a manuscript. It's a messy, unpredictable, beautiful story unfolding in real time. You were never meant to be flawless. You were meant to be felt. So hit publish, say the thing, wear the outfit, chase the dream, even if it's imperfect, especially if it is, because the only thing worse than making mistakes is never showing up at all. Perfection won't save you. Authenticity will. It's time. Stop editing. Start living. The real story begins now. There's a fine line between growth and self-rejection. Improvement culture tells you to be more, do more, optimize every part of yourself. But what happens when it stops feeling like empowerment and starts sounding like you're not enough? When every book, every course, every goal is secretly rooted in shame. Self-help becomes self-hate in disguise. You don't fix what you love, you nurture it. You don't attack yourself into growth. You support yourself into. If your journey is built on the belief that you're broken, it will never lead to peace. You'll keep chasing better, but never feel worthy of rest. Real growth starts when you stop trying to become someone else and start returning to yourself. Self-help should be an act of love, not punishment. So ask yourself, is your growth rooted in compassion or in fear? Because one will heal you, the other will hollow you up. Not every kind of progress is healthy. Sometimes growth is just a disguise, a clever way to stay busy while avoiding what actually hurts. You set goals not to expand, but to escape. You chase achievements not to thrive, but to outrun shit. It feels productive, but deep down, it's a form of hiding. You're not fixing anything. You're just burying the discomfort under layers of hustle and ambition. Real growth isn't frantic, it's honest. It asks hard questions and sits in stillness when needed. So stop for a moment. Ask yourself, am I building something real? Or am I just distracting myself from what I don't want to fix? Are these milestones helping me become whole? Or are they keeping me from looking inward? Growth is not just about motion, it's about direction. Make sure yours is leading you home, not further away from yourself. You're not a checklist, not a productivity app, not a home renovation with endless upgrades and fixes. You're a human being with messy emotions, shifting seasons, and stories that don't always make sense. You are not here to be constantly optimal. You are not a project. You are a painting, unfinished, layered, textured, full of flaws and depth. And that's what makes you real. When did we decide that every part of ourselves needs correct? That being whole means being polished. The truth is, your worth isn't something you earn through endless improvement. It was never lost to begin with. Growth is beautiful, but not when it comes at the cost of peace. Not when it turns your life into a never-ending to-do list. You are allowed to rest, allowed to breathe, allowed to breathe, allowed to breathe, allowed to exist without explanation. You don't need to be fixed. You need to be seen and accepted as you are. In the endless race to become more successful, more healed, more evolved, we often miss the beauty of who we already. You spend so much time striving for better that you forget to notice what's already good. You overlook the tiny wins, the quiet joys, the fact that you've made it through so much. You discount today because it doesn't look like you're perfect someday. But what if you What if you realize that the person you are right now is already worthy of love, of rest, of celebration? Self-growth is powerful, but it should never rob you of the present. You're not a constant construction site. You're a living, breathing miracle in motion, and there's beauty in the now. Even if it's messy, even if it's unfinished, stop running long enough to see it, because sometimes better is the illusion, and here is the miracle. You've spent so much of your life in repair mode, fixing your flaws, rewriting your story, over-analyzing every misstep, like your worth depends on. But what if it doesn't? What if this obsession with better is just fear in disguise? Fear of being seen, fear of being still, fear of accepting yourself. You're not broken. You're becoming. And becoming doesn't require constant correction. It requires presence. It's time to let go of the inner critic who treats your life like a project plan. It's time to laugh more, risk more, rest more. You don't need another 5-step fix. You need to live fully, messily, boldly. You've done enough self-repair. Now it's time for self-trust. Stop pausing your life in the name of potential. You were never meant to live in a waiting room. The door is open. Step through. Your life isn't late. It's now. This is me. Flawed. Unfinished. Real. I'm done apologizing for being human. I've spent too long trying to shrink myself, polish my rough edges, and earn love through perfection. But the truth is, my power was never in being flawless. It was in being on. I've made mistakes, stumbled, fallen flat, and yet here I am, still standing, still learning, still becoming. My scars tell stories, my quirks carry wisdom, and my past shaped a strength I once didn't. I no longer need to be someone else's idea of enough. I am my own. Self-acceptance isn't weakness, it's defiance in a world that profits from your insecurity. When you stop hiding who you are, you start discovering what you're made of. You stop performing and start living. So this is me, not perfect, not polished, but powerful. I don't need fixing. I need freedom. I own my story, my journey, my voice, and I walk in flaws and all. What if your scars aren't signs of failure but proof of success? What if the places that hurt the most are also the ones that make you success? You've been taught to hide your pain, to bury your brokenness, to smile through the ache. But what if those cracks aren't something to erase, but something to honor? Your scars tell the truth that you've lived, you've lost, you've survived, that life touched you deeply and didn't take you down. What if every imperfection carries a lesson, every wound a hidden wisdom? Maybe your past isn't a weight, but a map. Maybe your healing isn't about erasing the damage, but embracing the depth. There is no shame in what shaped you. There is only story, only strength, only sacred survival. You are not ruined, you are revealed. So stop hiding your hurt, let your life speak. And remember, even the most sacred places bear the marks of fire. What if your flaws aren't failures but feedback? What if the things you try hardest to hide are actually offering you direction, clarity, even strength? The anger you hate might be asking for boundaries. The insecurity you battle could be pointing to an old story that needs rewriting. Your flaws aren't enemies, they're messengers. But when you silence them, judge them, or run from them, you miss the lessons they carry. Growth begins when you lean in, when you stop labeling yourself and start listening. What's that anxiety trying to protect you from? What's the procrastination masking? There's power in self-inquiry. There's freedom in self-compassion. You are not weak for struggling. You are wise for seeking understanding. Stop seeing your flaws as obstacles. Start seeing them as invitations. They're not there to shame you, they're there to shape you. The moment you stop hiding from them is the moment you start healing with them. Own it, speak it, wear it, walk with it. That thing you've been hiding, the story, the shame, the scar. It's time to bring it into the light. You don't need to bury it. You don't need to fix it. You need to carry it with courage. Let it be part of you, not the part you avoid. Own your awkward laugh, your messy past, your wild dreams. Speak your truth, even when your voice shakes. Wear your identity like armor, not apology, and walk with it. Chin up, steps firm, heart open. This is how you reclaim power in a world that taught you to shrink. You don't become whole by slicing parts of yourself away. You become whole by gathering them all, beautiful, broken, bold, and saying, "This is me." Let repetition be your rebellion. Let presence be your proof. You don't need permission to show up fully. You just need practice. So start now. Own it. Speak it. Wear it. Walk with it. You don't have to be whole to be worthy. Even a cracked vessel still carries water. Even a broken thing can serve a purpose. Shine a light. Hold beauty. The world tells you that flaws mean failure, but look closer. The fractures are where the story lives. The dents, the bruises, the chipped corners. They're reminders that you've lived, that you've endured, that you still matter. Don't wait to be perfect to pour yourself out. Don't wait to be healed, to be helpful. You have something to offer now, because of what you've been through, not in spite of it. Maybe your crack lets someone else see the light. Maybe your scar gives someone else hope. You were never meant to be flawless. You were meant to be real, raw, useful in your own way. So carry your water. Let it spill if it must. You're not broken. You're brave. And that's more than enough to make a difference. Growth doesn't look like Instagram quotes and polished journal pages. It looks like crying in your car, questioning your worth, and getting back up anyway. Real growth is awkward. It's silent. It happens behind closed doors, without applause, without clarity, without guarantees. You stumble, you regress, you lose yourself before you find anything worth keeping. Self-improvement isn't a glow-up, it's a breakdown, a rebuilding, a radical honesty with who you are and what's no longer working. It's letting go of the version of yourself that played it safe to survive. It's choosing progress when perfection isn't an option. The truth is, the real work isn't pretty, it's real, and that's why it matters. You don't have to perform your healing to prove it. You don't have to inspire anyone while you're in the dirt. Just stay in the process. That's where the transformation begins, and it's more than enough. Before you rise, you fall. Before the light breaks through, there's darkness. That's the cycle. That's the truth. Success doesn't come to the strongest. It comes to those who keep going when everything falls apart. The breakdown is not the end. It's the beginning of clarity. It shatters the illusions, strips away the masks, and forces you to face what matters. You may feel lost, but this is where your foundation is forged. In the chaos, in the confusion, in the pain no one sees. Stop thinking you're failing because things are falling apart. Maybe they needed to. Maybe this is the cleansing before the becoming. Keep walking, even if it's with trembling steps. The moment you want to give up is often the exact moment you're getting close. Trust the breakdown. It's not breaking you. It's breaking open the path that was always yours to walk. Change doesn't always look like progress. Some of your most important growth happens deep beneath the surface. Quiet, unseen, slow, like roots expanding in the dark. Your efforts are working even when you don't see instant results. Every hard decision, every act of discipline, every time you choose healing over hiding, it's planting something powerful. Just because no one applauds doesn't mean it's not meaningful. You're building strength, resilience, clarity, and those things don't always show up in the mirror right away. Don't let the silence convince you you're stuck. You're not. You're rooting, anchoring, becoming. And when the time comes, those roots will hold you steady through the storms. Keep tending to the unseen. That's where the real work is. That's where the shift starts. You may not see it yet, but something inside you is taking hold. And one day it will rise. You're not stuck. You're just scared. And that fear is convincing you to wait for some mythical moment when you'll feel 100% prepared, confident and certain. But here's the truth. Ready is a lie. It's a comfort zone dressed up as logic. You'll never feel fully prepared to chase what matters. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the choice to move anyway. So stop stalling. Stop rehearsing. Stop convincing yourself that one more book, one more plan, one more day will change everything. They won't. What changes things is action. Imperfect, shaky, unsure action. Take the first step, not because you're fearless, but because you're tired of sitting in the same place. Progress doesn't wait for confidence, it creates it. You don't need a sign. You don't need permission. You just need to move. The path will form beneath your feet the second you start walking. You don't become strong by thinking about lifting weights. You get stronger by lifting, failing, adjusting, and trying again. Growth doesn't come from planning the perfect road. It comes from taking messy, honest steps forward. Too many people are stuck in the waiting room of almost ready, polishing plans, and waiting to become flawless before they begin. But the secret is, you get better by doing. You get braver by acting. You get clarity by moving. Waiting for perfection is a trap. It keeps your potential locked behind fear disguised as preparation. So stop trying to get it all right before you start. Start now. Make mistakes. Learn out loud. Fall forward. That's how you grow. Not by perfecting the plan, but by going through the process. Let your journey be a little chaotic. Let it be real, because motion, not mastery, is what transforms you. We've been sold a lie that enough is a destination you arrive at once. You've done more, achieved more, proven more, but that finish line keeps moving. You hit one goal, and another takes its place. You lose the weight, and suddenly it's not about health, it's about image. You earned the title, but now you need validation. The truth is, enough was never a place. It's a decision, a mindset, a line you draw in the sand and say, this is who I am, this is what I have, and it is already worth. Waiting to feel enough until the world claps for you will keep you chasing approval you don't need. You don't earn your value. It's intrinsic. It lives in how you show up, not what you accumulate. Claiming enoughness isn't giving up, it's waking up. The moment you decide you're already enough, everything else starts to shift. From the moment you could walk, the world handed you scorecards, grades, likes, titles, opinions. It taught you to measure yourself through someone else's lens. But here's the truth. Your worth is not up for debate. It's not determined by applause, popularity, or performance. You were whole before anyone told you otherwise. And the only person who can reclaim that truth is you. Stop outsourcing your value to people who don't know your heart. Stop shrinking yourself to fit standards you didn't choose. You don't have to hustle for love or earn your existence. You already belong. You already matter. The moment you stop chasing validation is the moment you start living in freedom. Because no one, not a critic, not a crowd, not even your past, gets to define you. Only you can do that. Stand tall in who you are. You're not here to be approved. You're here to be true. We're taught to chase goals, milestones, and achievements, as if the more we produce, the more we matter. But what if real success isn't in how much you do, but how deeply you live? What if peace is the ultimate metric? Think about it. You can check every box, climb every ladder, and still feel empty. Because hustle without harmony is just burnout in disguise. Peace isn't passive, it's powerful. It's the quiet confidence that you're aligned, that you're not betraying yourself just to fit in or get ahead. So yes, pursue growth, set goals, but don't forget to ask, am I at peace with who I'm becoming? Because medals won't hold you at night. Promotions won't calm your nervous system. What stays with you is the sense that you are enough, right here. Progress matters, but peace is what makes it worth it. Chase that and everything else finds its place. How many more boxes do you need to check before you finally let yourself breathe? Another degree, another follower count, another job title, then you'll feel like enough, right? But that finish line will never stop moving until you decide to move it yourself. The truth is, your definition of enough is the most powerful decision you'll ever make. If you keep letting the world define it, you'll stay trapped in delay, always waiting, always chasing. But when you choose your own definition, you reclaim your life. You stop putting your joy on layaway. You stop postponing peace for some future version of you. So redefine it. Today, let enough mean presence. Let enough mean inner alignment. Let enough mean right now. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just one decision away from freedom. And it starts when you stop striving and start living fully, boldly, and beautifully as you already are. Before the noise of the world floods in, before the likes, the to-do lists, the mirrors, the opinions, pause. Look yourself in the eye and remember you are already enough. Not because of what you'll accomplish today, but because of who you already are. This isn't delusion, it's a decision. A choice to root your worth in your being, not your doing. When you start from enough, everything shifts. You move with peace, not panic. You create from wholeness, not desperation. You stop chasing and start choosing. The world will try to tell you otherwise. It will measure you by output, image, and comparison. But you don't have to participate in that game. Ground yourself every morning in truth. You don't need to prove, earn, or edit your way into worthiness. You woke up worthy. Start from there and watch how differently everything unfolds. Perfection whispers lies. Wait until it's flawless, until you feel ready, until every fear disappears. But perfection is a trap disguised as a goal. Progress, on the other hand, is honest. It's the tiny step forward when you're scared, the rough draft, the awkward first try. It's momentum over mastery. And it's where real change lives. You don't need to look polished to be powerful. You don't need to have it all together to take the next right step. Every time you choose progress, you build trust with yourself. You prove that you're committed, not to impressing others but to growing for real. Forget the highlight reel. Forget waiting until it's pretty. Move, learn, keep going. Your power isn't in how perfect you are. It's in how persistent you are. Progress over perfection. Always, you finished. That alone deserves recognition. The world has trained you to glance sideways the second you cross your finish line. Who did it faster, louder, better? That reflex robs you of your win. It drains the joy from what was once a brave act of completion. Your race is your own. No one else knows what it cost you to get here. So celebrate finishing the thing. Not how it looked, not how it ranked, not how someone else might have done it. You're not here to keep up. You're here to keep going. Let the applause come from within. Let the reward be pride in your own effort. Because done is a victory. Finished is powerful. And celebrating yourself isn't arrogance, it's fuel for the next brave step. Look forward. Don't look sideways. You've already won. You were never built to be flawless, to fit inside someone else's mold of perfection, or to constantly edit yourself into something more palatable. That's not your job. That's not your truth. The world doesn't need another polished mask or carefully curated version of a human. It needs you, real, raw, unfiltered. It needs the version of you that feels deeply, stumbles boldly, and still dares to show up. You don't have to apologize for your edges or shrink to fit into spaces that can't hold your fullness. Flaws aren't failures, they're features of your humanity. And realness, that's your superpower. You weren't meant to be an idea of perfection, you were meant to be a presence. Bold, messy, honest, and alive. So stop chasing flawlessness like it's the prize. It isn't. The real win is found in owning your truth, in letting go of the mask, and in daring to show up exactly as you